Hope you guys are still continuing to train during this time of uncertainty. So there's tons of different ways to get good at arm wrestling. Lift heavy weights, arm wrestle with people, get stronger, study your opponents, whatever. For years in my career, I've felt like some of the most important strengths were rising, cupping, and rolling. R.C.R, rise, cup, roll. Rising, always important for any kind of technical advantage. Cupping, that's like the real horsepower in the game. And pronation is the key to defense. A lot of times when I train, I'm training heavy. I've talked a lot about blocks, 3s, 10s, very simple, just pumping out higher and higher numbers. When you have an opportunity to get good table time, there's nothing better. Good table time typically will trump any other training that you have in mind to get better at arm wrestling. When you do good table time, it's very hard to lift heavy weights. You're probably going to have little sore spots, and it's going to be hard to neurologically keep up with the demands of good table time and continue to lift heavy in the gym. So the great thing about the forearm and the muscles used in arm wrestling is you can flush them, use them a lot. And one of the things you should be doing if you really love the sport and want to keep on reaching higher levels is to focus on these 3 fundamentals in a really easy way when you are able to get good table time. There's no reason why you can't do something like what I'm about to show you here multiple times a day, all throughout the day, but irregardless, at least 1 time a day. Martial arts belts are great. And this is not a lot of weight I'm working with. It's like 30 pounds or something. So first one I'll hit is rise, okay? There's a lot of ways to work your rise. This is a really simple way. Okay, just a grip like this, okay? And not too much movement, but just these little pulses, up, up, up. And when you're talking about strength, you want to do things heavy, you want to do things hard. When you're getting that good table time in, what's really important is flushing, volume, good safe stimulation that's gonna, I guess what is called active recovery. So I'm working out here, but the weight is low enough that it's not gonna damage me anymore, but at the same time I'm doing something, therefore bringing more fluids, more stimulation to the tissues, healing faster, just adding to the castle, right? So burn starts to come a little bit. I can play with it a while, but it's about done. The rise. Cup. You can cup any way you like. This is the easiest way for me to do it, but I have a table set up. Grab a thick bar, anything that spins, and just cup your wrist in. Again, on days like this when I'm just doing flushing, it's nice and light. I'll work rep range typically between 50 and 100. Okay, so I get a good full kind of, I don't want to say muscular failure, but I want to say upping the burn in the muscle. Is it lactic threshold? It's approaching that. But getting to a point where you're starting to burn oxygen. You're starting to be like on the verge of aerobic. But you don't want to do too much of that because you want to make sure that you stay strong. And the adaptation to being able to perform in those rep ranges sometimes will slow you down. So you got to be careful. So rise, cup, last one, roll. It's the easiest way to do it, okay? Around the thumb. Just very simply, close and squeeze the thumb. Squeeze the thumb through the movement, okay? A lot of people will want to make this wider. That's great, but if you put a special focus on the thumb and squeezing of the thumb, you're going to really target that pronation along with, you know, closing the bicep angle a little bit. Same rep range, 50 to 100. And this kind of thing I can do multiple times. You know, if you have a super match coming up where you know it's going to be a 3 out of 5, run through a set like this, like a block like this, 3 to 5 times, however far you think it's going to go. You can even make the rest in between rounds to be whatever that looks like. If you're in the World Armwrestling League, you got a 1.5 minute break between rounds. If you're in Arm Wars, it used to be a minute. If you're in PAL, it used to be 2 minutes. Just kind of shift your training so that you're in that recovery cycle. You think you're gonna have a 2 minute work period? Add all this up so that you're doing about 2 minutes of work. Anyways, good times. Hope you guys are doing good.